Hello everyone, it's Tana. Welcome back to the Rabbit Hole Designs YouTube channel. Today we're working with more items from the July 2022 release. Clarence Christmas and Bunny Christmas. And I believe Clarence believes. So let's get started. I'm also going to pull in some of the retro Christmas paper pack. And I believe I left the stencil, layering stencil out as well, just in case, but I don't think we use it in today's video. I really do love the pattern paper. I believe by the time I was done making all my videos, I used up most of the pattern paper. So here I have all my images from Clarence Christmas already colored. And today we're going to make a couple cards, but we're going to make 3 Christmas tags. One for each image in the Clarence Christmas stamp set. So for the first tag, I'm going to go with Lime Rookie. And for the second one, I'm going to go with Rouge, all Catherine Pooler inks. And I'm trying to match the shades of the ink to the shades in the pattern paper. So that's why I went with the colors I went with. A brighter green, a deeper red, and then I went with pink champagne rose petals combination to bring out the pinkiness that's in the one set of pattern papers. And I had an issue with my pink champagne, so I had to cover that with my rose petals. I'm probably going to have to re-ink that, the first one. After those are all ink blended, I'm going to go in with some Daniel Smith, I believe it's titanium white. I'm not sure if it's gouache or just white watercolor paint. Added some water to that so I can do some flecks of snow with my paintbrush and a splatter technique here. No perfection in my splatter technique whatsoever. I even ended up with kind of a big blob on my pink tag. And then I went over it with just one shimmer spray and heat set those with my heat tool and moving right along. So now I'm cutting out strips. Originally I thought I was going to put these vertically on my tag and decided to go opposite. So I used an edge border from my stash for each strip and I went horizontally across the tags. I believe one of them is more towards the middle and the other two are lower down on the tag itself. And then I also cut out some circles, scalloped circles with a die from my stash out of the pattern paper, and we're going to use those as the backdrop behind our stamped and colored images. Now I did not show it on the video, but I left the backs of these tags blank so that were you to use them for Christmas, you could stamp out to and from, and they're even big enough for a little message on the back of the tag. So now I'm going to stamp out Merry Christmas on, I believe, one, and Happy Holidays on the other two. Both those sentiments came from the Bunny Christmas stamp set. And I did have to stamp these a few times for each tag because of all that ink blending I did and the shimmer spray and the ink or the white paint splatter before it would show up dark enough for my liking. Just going to use some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to adhere those circles down on top of their strips or right above. I believe only one of them is on top of the strip. The other ones are placed directly above. And now I have all 3 Clarence images popped up with foam tape. Added some glue to those as well before we place them down on the tag. These images are so darn cute. I can't even tell you which one's my favorite. I thought when I first saw the stamp set it was going to be Clarence building the snow squirrel, but I just love all 3 images. And to finish off the tags, I'm going to use some ribbon from my sewing stash to add at the top of each tag. I forgot to mention I used those same edge dies, border edge dies that I used on the strips on the sides of my tags as well. I must have still been talking your ear off and not even noticed I had gotten to that part in the video. Trim the ribbon up a little bit. Nice straight edges with no fraying. And then we're going to move on to our card, our first card for the video. Now we're going to move on to the bunny Christmas stamp set, and I believe the images I used for this video are the cute little bunny stuffed into the car. Reminds me of a clown car, you guys, with the tree on top. And then the huge stack of presents with the bunny popped out of the top present. So I'm going to ink blend my first panel here with some Lime Ricky. And then I'm going to use this, I believe it's called Slice of Christmas stencil from the Rabbit Hole Designs, and I believe this is either retired or on clearance, but you could use any tree stencil or stamp you have. I went in with a darker color grass skirt to go over the Lime Ricky, and I'm just going to alternate those two trees from the stencil until I have my entire panel covered. So about 6 trees, alternating the 2 different trees. Now I have a circle cut out with a die from my stash, and I'm going to use this masking paper to just roughly cut out 2 snow drifts or snow hills so I can ink blend my sky here. Just a simple scene. I'm using Catherine Puller's Hot Tub ink for my snowy sky. And now I'll peel those masks off, and I'm going to replace one at a time. So the hill that you would see in the foreground, I'm going to cover that back up and outline it kind of with my BG72 marker. And then I'll go in with the other hill and just do the background hill. I then go in with BG70 and kind of spread that color out down into the white snowdrift or hill. And then finally in with my colorless blender. I just wanted to lend color to the hills and define them, but I didn't want to color them, if that makes sense. I still wanted them to look like snow. Added some cloud die cuts there to my sky, and now I'm using some double-sided adhesive to adhere this to a green card base, and then some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to my circle, and I dropped it right on my panel, guys. I was so scared it was going to be sticky or smear the ink, but it did not. And then I have my image popped up on foam tape, and that will go right in front of the snow hills there. Traveling home from getting their Christmas tree. And we have chosen the sentiment, Jolly Holly Days to You and Yours, from the Bunny Christmas stamp set. Pop that up on foam tape as well. Add some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to that. And then I did attempt to lay this down without a ruler. Decided to stop what I was doing, grab the T-square ruler, and make sure it was nice and straight. It's nothing worse than a crooked sentiment, unless you meant it to be that way. And that's it for the first card. Now on to our final card here. I do not remember what the name of this stencil is, but I will put it on the screen for you. I believe this is definitely retired, but it has Christmas lights. So I'm going in with Deck the Halls, and I'm ink blending the string for my lights, alternating down the panel. And then I chose Rockin' Red, Lime Ricky, Limoncello, and Something Borrowed for my bulbs. And I went with these colors because these are always the colors of bulbs that I had on my tree when I grew up as a kid. And it's just what I think of when I think of Christmas lights. So I'm just alternating to make sure that it goes in groups of 4. Yellow, blue, red, green. On and on down the strands. So after I get this first strand done, I will skip ahead until we're almost done with the very last strand. So you don't have to sit here and watch me ink blend all the things. It's cold tonight, guys. It's 57. We had some really nice warm days, and now it's 57 outside, and I feel like I'm freezing. Here's our panel here, and I did smudge a little bit of green, but I will sand that off with a sand eraser. And I think it'll be covered anyway if I can't get it all off. Now I'm going in with glossy accents and going over each and every bulb so they look shiny and like they're lit up. I didn't want to add too much detail because the bulk of that background is going to be covered. So I have here a piece of green cardstock as the first mat on our red card base. And then I have a bright yellow to go over the green, and I believe it goes I think there's 1/8 inch all the way around of the green showing. And I knew our image was going to be popped up on foam tape, but I wanted this panel slightly popped up as well. So I took a page from Jennifer McGuire and used extra cardstock to glue together. I believe I glued together 4 and then glued them to the back of my main panel. Now we're going to glue that to our card base. Center that right on top of our mats. And now we're going to add our sentiment first, because I knew that the bottom present on the pile was going to overhang on the sentiment strip slightly. So I heat embossed that. I used the Rockin' Red Catherine Pooler ink and some Halo Wow embossing powder to go over that. And now we're going to put some glue on our foam tape behind our image and pop him up in the center as well. And before this card is all finished and said and done, we're going to stamp out a sentiment for the inside, which is also from the Bunny Christmas stamp set. I can't remember what it says, guys. I guess I'll see it in a minute. May the gifts of love, peace, and happiness be yours this Christmas. I thought that's a really nice sentiment, so I wanted to make sure I put that on the inside of the card. And then I went ahead, of course, because there's never enough glossy accents, and I did the star on the top of his wand and all the bows and decorations and bells and whatnot on the presents. Like I said, never enough glossy accents. That's it for today's video, guys. Don't forget to sign up for the Rabbit Hole Designs email so you can be aware of all the new releases and maybe the occasional sale, surprise sale. And don't forget about the Rabbit Hole Designs Facebook group and Instagram page so you can see the new inspiration that the design team is putting up daily. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now, guys.